Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Welcome to everyone in this lecture. This is lecture number 8 and this is the part 1 of the measurement of the physics of microwave. Okay, this is advanced paper for the physics honors in MSc and this is the measurement chapter of this microwave. This is the part 1 of this chapter. Okay, in this video want to discuss actually Smith chart, single stub and the double stub matching with the reflection coefficient, and that's all as a background of this Smith chart. Mainly we focus on this Smith chart on this video and single stub and the double stub matching, right? This is the syllabus. You can watch these two portion we already covered: transmission line and waveguide and component. And now we want to discuss about the measurement of the microwave transmission. That is, in this video want to cover up this portion, that is the Smith chart, single stub, double stub matching. Okay, so we wants to cover up this portion in this lecture. So let's start. And this is the reference book. You can refer to this for this portion. Okay, so to draw the Smith chart or to know about the Smith chart, we want to discuss about the background of the Smith chart. That is the what are the parameters actually got in from this Smith chart. We need to discuss about that. First one is the reflection coefficient. Suppose this is a generator, voltage generator, that is the microwave generator you can say, and this is the load line where the wave this is the generator wave generated from here, and this is sending end, this sent the wave, and this is the receiving end where the load is connected, right? And the impedance of the generator is Zg, and the impedance of input impedance is Z0. This is the length, and this Z is taken from the generator, and the D taken from the load. Okay, so from the generator distance taken as a Z, and the distance taken from the load as a D. Okay, this is sending end, this is receiving end. The current from the generator is I plus, and current from the generator is I minus. When we count in the voltage, incident voltage, there will be two possibility: V plus e to the power minus gamma Z, and in the negative side V minus e to the power gamma Z. So the total incident voltage is the addition of these two. The current will be this addition of these two current, but the this current is negative, that's why the minus Viz V minus by Z0. Okay, minus by Z0, because the current is negative in the opposite direction, that's why the voltage will be must be opposite, that's why we written here. So the load voltage will be, load voltage mean at a distance L the voltage will be Z equals to L. Put the value of Z equals to L, you will be get the load voltage and the load current. Okay, so the load impedance will be nothing but the voltage by current if you divided these two things, and by definition the reflection coefficient nothing but the reflection voltage by incident voltage. So the reflection voltage by incident voltage are in terms of current, right? So the current in the opposite direction, that's why there is a minus sign. So the at the load, the reflection coefficient at the load, the voltage will be this is the reflected voltage, and this is the incident voltage. So if you put the value of ZL from here, you can got the ZL equals to that. So if you rearrange them, you will be get this expression, right? This expression, and which is nothing but ZL minus Z0 by this, because ZL by Z0 is this. So if you take ZL minus Z0 by ZL plus Z0, you will get this expression, and this is the nothing but the reflection coefficient at the load point. Okay, so at if it also represent as, so if you take in complex form, if you take this load in reflection coefficient at the load is a complex one, you can read like that, and this value must be less than equals to 1 magnitude, because reflection cannot be greater than the incident voltage, right? So this is less than equals to 1. right? So theta L is the phase angle between incident and reflected voltage. This is the phase angle and the magnitude. As for the figure, you can see here Z is nothing but L minus D, total is L, and from here this distance taken as Z and this distance taken as D. So the Z is nothing but L minus D. So if you putting this value, this if you take at the Z point, if you take at the coefficient from distance from D, if you take from D, then the value of Z, if you put the value of Z here, the L will be Z, right? From this, sorry, from the source point, this will be Z. So if you put the value of Z, you will be get this expression. In if you rearrange them, you will be get this one. So this is nothing but the D from counted from the load, and the Z which is counted from the generated point. Okay, generator. So this is the basic difference. So the gamma D is the reflection coefficient which is calculated from the load point, and this is nothing but gamma load. This is the reflection coefficient at load point into e to the power minus 2 gamma D. Okay. So in the complex form, if you write this gamma L is nothing but e to the power minus 2 alpha D, theta L is nothing but theta into, sorry, gamma is nothing but alpha plus j beta, gamma is nothing but alpha plus j beta, alpha plus j beta. So if you put this value of gamma, you will be get this expression, and if you put this value of gamma L, gamma L nothing but the magnitude and this phase. So if you put this value magnitude and phase, you will finally got this expression in this complex form. For lossless line, this alpha will be 0, this is the loss factor. So for lossless line, this will be 0, and the magnitude of the reflection coefficient remain constant. Magnitude of the reflection coefficient will be constant because this is not decay, this term is 0, that is in the magnitude will be constant. Only the phase of gamma change circulating toward the generator. So there is a minus, so towards the generator, and a change by this angle, okay, towards the generator, the angle will be minus 2 beta D for the lossless line, right. So in case of lossless line, all right, sorry. So in case of lossless line, you can see here this magnitude does not change, this magnitude will be constant, this magnitude will be constant, gamma L will be constant value, and maximum gamma is 1, you know, maximum value is 1. So gamma L is within a value of 1, and this is gamma L, and this gamma D can be find out by this phase angle, that is the 2 beta D towards the generator, minus 2 beta D towards the generator, and the point of theta L, phase of the where is the theta L. So this is the position of gamma M, because this is the 0 transmission line and this is the towards the 0, that is the generator. So from generator, this is the plus theta L towards the load. Actually this is towards generator and this is towards load, this is, that direction is towards load, okay, if you represent in the complex plane, right. So if you represent in the complex plane, you can see here this is the gamma L means reflection coefficient at the load point, okay, and this is nothing but the gamma L is nothing but this magnitude into e to the power j theta L. So plus j theta L means towards the load, so this angle will be theta L. This is the phase angle, and when we find out the gamma D, that is the at a distance, that's mean from distance from the load, this reflection coefficient will be gamma D, and this is nothing but the from this point to minus 2 beta D. I think clear about this thing. Now this is case for the lossless line, right. This is case for the lossless line. If you take for lossy line, then this gamma value will be changed because because there is a decay factor, so the gamma magnitude will be changed. So if you start here, but it will be changes like that, if its magnitude will be reduces. So this like a spiral like presentation. Okay, so this is gamma L e to the minus alpha d. This will be changes, and initially this is happen, and finally if you take at gamma d with this angle, you will get these things. I think clear about these things, about the lossless representation, reflection coefficient, and the lossy reflection coefficient. Okay, now comes into the transmission coefficient. So if you take this power is transmitted, so from the energy conservation you can see this thing, that the transmitted power is the incident power minus reflected power, simple. So the transmission coefficient by definition transmitted voltage by incident voltage. So from this figure you can see here this transmitted voltage e to the 1 minus gamma L at the load point will nothing but the reflection, this is forwarded voltage plus reflected voltage, right? Forwarded voltage plus reflected voltage will be the transmitted voltage here, and if you divided by this Z, actually this is nothing but the current, this is the nothing but the in terms of current, this is the transmitted current, this is the difference of these two incident and the reflected. Okay, so if you rearrange them, you will be get finally, and using this formula you will finally get this reflection coefficient expression from this relation also. Okay, and if you take wants to find out transmitted voltage by incident voltage, you will be get these things. So the T equals to 2 ZL by 2 Z0 plus TL. So gamma, this is reflection coefficient, this is transmission coefficient, this is transmission coefficient, this is transmission coefficient. So if you want to find out relation between reflection coefficient and the transmission coefficient, you can use this transmitted power conservation, transmitted power incident power minus reflected power. Okay, so if you put this value incident power, that is voltage by 2 input impedance, and reflected power voltage by input impedance. So if you take this expression gives you, this is transmitted power and this is nothing but Z0 by ZL this. Okay, this we already find out here, you can see here, from here we can find out this relation. So after putting this value you get transmitted power expression, this is the expression for this transmitted power, this is the expression for this transmitted power, right, in terms of transmitted voltage into like that. Now comes into this relation which we want to find out, that is the reflection coefficient and this is the transmission coefficient. So if you take this square you will get this square, and if you 1 minus gamma L square, you so 1 minus, you will find that this 4 ZL minus Z0, and that's it, Z0 by ZL, this is. So finally you get relation between reflection transmission coefficient and this is reflection coefficient. ZL is the impedance at the load, and this is Z0 is the impedance at that is the ZL load impedance, and Z0 is the input impedance, okay, that's it. And this reflection coefficient at load, reflection coefficient at load, and T is the transmission coefficient, right? I think clear about this formula, this will be help you to derive some mathematics. Now comes into the standing wave. Standing wave in general solution transmission line equation consists of two waves traveling in opposite direction and unequal amplitude. That means there is a two things, that is one is transmitted power and this is reflected power. So this will be a standing wave. Sometimes this becomes a standing wave. Okay. So the total voltage will be like that. This is the, if you take the value of gamma in terms of alpha into beta, you can, this gamma equals to alpha plus j beta. If you put this value, the total voltage will be can be written in this form. This if you put this gamma equal to alpha plus j beta in complex form, and this e to the power minus j beta in the sine cos, and this will be in sine cos form, and taking into the common in cos form, and this one. If there is no loss, then this will be, and this will be real, then the voltage of standing wave can be taken as this. So this will be the real part in case of no loss, where V0 will be this value and phi will be this one. For maximum amplitude of this voltage, this is can be written as e to the power this one. Okay, so maximum amplitude of this voltage V plus this will be taken as 0 for maximum value. Finally, we will get this equation, and this can be taken in this value. So this is in the case of maximum amplitude, and in case of minimum amplitude, this will be the minus value, and this is can be taken as in this form like that. Okay, and here you can see this this part actually changes from this definition. I think you remember the definition of the gamma is nothing but the reflection coefficient by incident coefficient, like that. So if you use this expression, you can represent Vmax by Vmax and Vmin in terms of gamma reflection coefficient. Okay, so the distance between two successive maxima or minima is lambda by 2. How you can find out? Because Bz equal to n pi. So if you put z equals to n pi by beta, so if you take the two value n equals to 1 and n equals to 2, the difference will be pi by beta, and beta equals to 2 pi by lambda. Beta lambda equals to actually pi, beta into lambda actually pi, the difference beta lambda actually pi. So this is the value, and the corresponding from here, this is for maxima and this is for minima, also get the same thing. So to maxima distance between two successive maxima or successive minima, the distance will be lambda by 2, right? Similarly, maximum or minimum current, if you want to find out, the maximum current will be, this will be plus and this will be minus. In the reflection coefficient term, it will be the same thing. And if you want to find out this relation exponentially decay, this will be exponentially decay term, the amplitude, and the successive maxima and successive minima difference will be the lambda by 2, right? Okay, so this is the graph. This is the lossless line. This was lossy line, that's why this amplitude will be decay, and this is lossless line, the amplitude does not decay. Next point, so if we take V plus not equal to 0, V minus equals to 0, so if you take V plus term only, and actually there is a plus term, there is a plus sign, V plus term, and in case of the another portion, you will get if positive wave and negative wave are equal amplitude, if this will be equal amplitude, the reflection coefficient will be unity, because the gamma relation was this like that. This was magnitude V minus e to the power alpha z by V plus e to the power alpha z, then this will be 1, because this will be the same value, right? Okay, so that's it. Standing wave corresponding will be like that. This is pure stationary wave, and this current will be like that. Hence Vs and Vi waves are 90° out of phase. So the current and will be in the 90° out of phase, because the sign can be written as the B zeta minus, so minus B zeta by pi by 2. If you take this rearrange, you will be get this same form. Okay, so the voltage and current can be expressed in this complex form, and hence the voltage and when the maximum instant wave current will be 0. Here you can see when the voltage will be maximum, when current will be the 0. here the voltage and current curve, you can see here the voltage will be maximum, current will be 0, and the reverse one, voltage will be 0, current will be the maximum, and this amplitude will be decay by exponentially. Now comes into the another important parameter, that is standing wave ratio, SWR, standing wave ratio, which says nothing but the maximum voltage by minimum voltage, ratio of the maximum voltage by minimum voltage, or in terms of current, maximum current or minimum current. So this will be one for pure traveling wave, there is no reflection loss, that's why there is will be no loss, the maximum voltage by minimum voltage will be the same. In case of the pure standing wave, then this will be the 0. So this is the form of rho, that is V max by V min, because you derive this relation, this V max and V min here, you can see here, this is the V max and this is the V min. So if you divided V max by V min, V max by V min, what will be the value of V max by V min? If you divided this one, you will be get 1 plus magnitude of reflection coefficient, 1 minus magnitude of reflection. This is nothing but the SWR, SWR, standing wave ratio. Okay, so we can write 1 plus magnitude of reflection coefficient, 1 minus magnitude of reflection coefficient. Okay, now since this is a less than 1, since this is a less than 1, so rho will be greater than 1. In terms of in the reverse form, the reflection coefficient will be written as rho minus 1 by rho plus 1. Since gamma is less than 1, since gamma is less than 1, this is less than 1 means this is must be, since gamma is less than 1, so this will be the uh, less than 1, so this is rho greater than 1, simple. Next point, if you wants to find out reflection coefficient versus r, sorry, rho, that is the V for voltage. Okay, SWR's standing wave ratio, and V for voltage, here V is represent for voltage, voltage. So there is another thing, ISWR, this I represent for current. Okay, so this is for the standing wave ratio. Now comes into the line impedance. What is the line impedance of this transmitted wave when the microwave is transmitted? This is the generator impedance, impedance of this generator. This is the source impedance, input impedance. This is the source point, source voltage, and source current. This is current at any point. Total distance is L, and this is distance from generator, and this is distance from load, load current, and this R, that is receiving. This is receiving end, and this is sending end. S for sending or source, sending. S for sending end. This is receiving end. So we want to discuss about the line impedance, that is the voltage at jet point and current at jet point. So the input total voltage, incident voltage plus reflected voltage, and current equal to this. So at the sending end, at z equals to 0, this is z equals to 0, put the value, you will be get this equation, is equals to, at the sending end, is equals to v plus v minus z equals to 0, y0 equals to, y0 equals to 1 by z0. Y is impedance, sorry, admittance, and z0 is impedance. Y is admittance, y is admittance, admittance, and z equals to impedance, right? Admittance and impedance. So put this value, finally you get v plus and v minus. And so if you replace this v plus and v minus in this general form, v and I, so the corresponding z will be like that, and the receiving point, this z will be L, that is receiving point, that's why z r, and at this z equals to L, the Vr equals to R IL, voltage equals to current into resistance, so this will be the value of voltage. and finally Vr V plus will be like that, and Z equals to 0. So this is the another form of voltage and current in terms of D, right? And if you put the value, finally you get this expression which is like that from the receiving end and from the sending point, that is the impedance. And for a lossless line, gamma equal to alpha equals to 0 actually. For lossless line, alpha equals to 0, so gamma equal to j beta. Putting this value, you will get this expression in terms of sine cos, and this impedance will be like that. Okay. Now the impedance in terms of reflection coefficient, or SWR, standing wave ratio. If you want to find out the impedance in terms of reflection coefficient, you can find out by this relation. Z equal to this we'll already discuss, and if you take in this form, in the ratio form, and this is nothing but gamma L, we already find out this expression. So finally you get this relation, again the same thing. So the gamma reflection coefficient in the complex form will be like that, and this Z equals to, in this gamma form, will be like that. This is actually repeated, I think. So the impedance varies along the lossless line will be this one. There is a real part and resistance, and this reactance part, which is can be written is here. So you can, this is a different form actually. So finally I want to discuss about this one, that is the reflection coefficient and the standing wave ratio is related here, and in term the impedance also can be written in the reflection, in the standing wave ratio like that, and this one. Okay. And here the important point is rho can be easily measured by detection of the standing wave meter, hence the impedance also measure easily. So this rho can be measured from this meter, so the Z, the impedance will be, can be measured easily. Now determination of the characteristic impedance. Now there is a something new impedance, that is characteristic impedance. Sending end impedance with the receiving short circuit will be like that, and sending end impedance with receiving an open circuit will be like that. If you take the short circuit and open circuit condition, you will be get this one. So the characteristic impedance is nothing but of the transmission line, Z0 equal to root under ZSC into ZGC, because if we multiply, this will be the 1 and this is Z0 square. So the characteristic impedance can be measured using this formula. If you need to find out these two impedance, you need to find out these two impedance, that is the short circuit sending end impedance with the receiving short circuit, and the sending end impedance with the open circuit. Okay, so if you find out these two impedance, you can find out this characteristic impedance of this transmission line, that is Z0 characteristic impedance, and the propagation constant also we find out like that. So if you find out these two measurement, you will be get these two parameter, that is characteristic impedance and also this propagation constant, if you know the length. Next point is normalized impedance. Normalized impedance is nothing but the impedance by this characteristic impedance. So Z by Z0, which is 1 plus gamma L by 1 minus gamma L. This can be written in this form, R plus X. R is the normalized resistance actually. This is resistance and this is reactance. Resistance and this is reactance, resistance, and this is reactance. Okay, so you will be get this normalized impedance, that is resistance and reactance. Maximum normalized impedance, Z max will be Z max by R0 and Z max is V max by I min, and putting this value V max by R0 will be like that, that is rho. V max by, if you put the value actually V max, I think you remember the value of V max. V, sorry, there will be a V max value. Where is the V max? Oh, okay, very long before. I want to show you this V max value. such that you can understand these things. But where is the Vmax? Vmax 1 plus V plus this into 1 plus gamma. So if you wants to value this expression in this form, you get the relation Vmax by this thing, you will be get these things. Okay, so just putting this value of this Vmax, you will be get this relation, that is standing wave ratio rho. I think you remember in the previous lecture where we tell directly that is for maximum voltage, this will be the rho, the K value, under damping like that. I think you remember this curve where K equals to 1 and like that. Like that, there was a K equals to 1. Here we was say that for maximum voltage this were K was rho, and for minimum voltage the K was 1 by rho. This actually proved here, you can see this. And number 3 point is this: for every interval of half wavelength distance along the line, Z max and repeated, you know this was maximum and minima wavelength difference, path distance will be lambda by 2. So you can say the after lambda by 2, these are repeat. Okay, since Vmax and Vmin separate by a quarter wavelength Z max, because these are separated by lambda by 2, so the successive maximum and minimum separated by lambda by 4, right? So Z will be changed lambda by 4, the maximum will be changed into the minimum, and the corresponding line impedance, admittance, the admittance can be find out from the impedance by this, where G is the conductance and V is the susceptance, J is the susceptance. So the complex part is susceptance and this part will be the conductance, right? So the oil can be normalized to this is generalized and this is normalized. Y by Y0 will be Z plus G plus Z beta, Z plus ZB. This is susceptance and this is conductance, right? After doing this thing, after knowing this thing, actually we can understand now Smith chart. Actually this parameter can be find out, that is uh, load impedance, load admittance, source impedance, source admittance, and etc defined parameter. If you wants to find out this parameter, you can find out by computational, but the most useful method for this all this parameter actually the graphical method, and this graph is first time presented by Smith, that's why this is called Smith chart, and this is very useful chart to calculate the parameter in this transmission line case. For any transmission line you can find out the various parameter from this chart, that's why this is very important. Okay, so this charge is applicable for both lossless line and lossy line. There is no problem. This charge can be used for lossless line and lossy line. I think you remember the for lossless line this was this circle. For lossy line this was the spiral. This is because there is a reduction in amplitude, right? So these both are can be used in this chart, there is no problem. By simply rotation of the chart, the effect of the position of the line can be determined. So by simply on the simple rotation of the chart, by rotation on this chart you can find out the position of the line is very much. So how this Smith chart work and how it is developed, we need to discuss, right? Now comes into this formula. This is the reflection coefficient at load, which is related to this impedance. This is load impedance, this is input impedance, like that, and this can be in the complex form, you can write here. So there is a real part and this is the imaginary part. This is real part and this is imaginary part. This is real part, real part, real part, and this is imaginary part, imaginary part. There is two part, you thing, real part and imaginary part. Okay, and this magnitude will be less than 1 reflection coefficient, so the value of L lie on the within the unit circle of a radius 1. So this value must be within the circle whose radius will be less than 1, less than equal to 1. The reflection coefficient at any other location of the line can be written as like that. This is d is distance from the load. D is distance from the load. So this can be represented. We already derived this expression previously, right? And the normalized impedance Z by Z0, this can be also written in this form. So here you can see this figure. We already was this figure, that is at this is gamma equals to 1. This is the unity circle. This will be the maximum possible value, and this is any gamma L value. And after you will be get this expression, that is theta L like here. So this will be, this is a gamma uh, gamma L value, and this is gamma D value. Clear? This is gamma L value and this is gamma D value, right? Constant gamma circle, and electrical length radius is beta D, will be like that. If no, there is no loss, D equals to 0. If there is no loss, D equals to 0. So in this expression, this, if we put this value D equal to 0, 1 plus gamma L by 1 minus gamma L. So Z, small z equal to ZL by Z0. Sorry, small z is not. So small z equal to like that, and you already know the small z equal to ZL by Z0, and putting this value ZL equal to Rx plus this. So RL by Z0 equals to small r, and XL by Z0 equal to small x, reactance and the resistance. So R equals to RL by Z0 and X equals to XL by Z0. This is small r is resistance and this is reactance. So the gamma L can be written as Z minus 1 by Z plus 1. So this is real value and this is imaginary value. So if you rewrite in this form, that is Z equals to 1 plus gamma L by 1 minus gamma L. Gamma L is gamma R plus J gamma I. Okay, and if you take the complex, if you wants to remove complex number from the lower side, if you wants to eliminate, so you will get finally value of R and X. This is the most important formula for the Smith chart, that is R, that resistance is related with this reflection coefficient, that is real value, and there is imaginary value, and similarly reactance will be related with the reflection coefficient in terms of real value and this imaginary value. Now if you multiply this R into that and rearranging, then you can watch this uh, calculation. This is very simple calculation. Just doing this simple calculation, you will be find out this relation. You can see here this relation is nothing but a relation of circle, right? Where this is the radius and the center will be this on the real axis, and the complex axis will be 0. So this is the represent a family of circle in which each circle has a constant resistance. You can see for a constant resistance the radius will be constant, but if you change the resistance, the radius of the circle also change. That's why this circle, for a constant circle, you represent this the constant resistance. There is a constant circle, that means there will be resistance will be the constant. Okay, and comes into the another. Okay. Here you can see, if you put R equals to 0, this will be 1. R equals to 0, this is 0. So gamma R square plus gamma square will be 1. So the R equals to 0 means there is unit circle, and the outermost circle where this is unit. Okay, so R equals to 0. So r change from 0 to infinity, so r equals to 0 infinity. If you put this value r equals to infinity, 1 by infinity equals to 0, the radius will be 0 and the center will be r equals to infinity. If you put this value 1 by infinity plus 1, radius will be 1, so center will be 1. So you can see this is 1, so center 1 and radius 0, so this will be the point. So here r equals to infinity, and here the r equals to 0 circle, r equals to infinity at that point. This is the r equals to infinity point. So if you go to r equals to 0 to here, so if you go through from left to right side, the r will be increase. Clear? The resistance will increase. So this circle actually represent the circle with the same resistance. Value of resistance will be like that, same resistance. R equal to 0 for, and this is r equals to 1, r equals to, and so on. Clear? Now comes into the another relation, that is the x equal to 2 gamma I by 1 minus gamma r, I for imaginary, r for real. Now comes into this relation, and rearranging this you can find out this relation, you can check this calculation. And this is also another circle, where radius will be 1 by x and the center will be the 1 comma 1 by x, and the reactance can be minus infinity to plus infinity, uh, uh, because minus infinity plus infinity, there will be the minus or plus both side. So if you wants to find out the graph, that is at, since the radius will be 1 by x and center is 1 comma 1 by x. So if you take an example where this 2, if you take an example this circle, so the center will be like that, if you take this circle as a complete, you can see here the center will be 1 comma 1 by x. If you take, actually this is value of x, so x equals to 2.0, so the center will be 1 comma 0.5, that is this actually 1 because this is 0, so this is 1 and 0.5, so this is 1, so half of this 0.5, this is the center, and radius will be 1 by x, that is 0.5 center and 0.5 is radius, so this radius, so you will be get this circle. Similarly for 1 you will be get this circle, for that circle, and so on. So actually this is the value of x, reactance curve for minus in the reverse side, okay. So this is the curve of this uh, resistance, and these are curve for the reactance. And if you combine these two things, you will be get the actual curve, that is the combination of this curve, that is the Smith chart. Here you can see this is the real value of z and this is the imaginary value of z, and for imaginary value of z 0, you will be get this horizontal line, okay. And you can see short circuited z equals to 0, z equals to 1, z equals to infinity, like that. And this is gamma equals to 1, gamma equals to minus 1, gamma equals to j, gamma equals to minus j, and the magnitude of this gamma, if 1, you will be get this circle, and gamma equals to 0 is this point, okay. From the Smith chart you will get this important thing. You can see this is the impedance where the at the point of at any point counted from this load distance d, okay. And if you change this gamma l into the complex form, you will get this thing. So y equal to g plus beta, we already discussed about this thing. Here the sometimes this question actually asks, that is the characteristics of the Smith chart. If you want to summarize, you can see the constant r and constant x loci from two familiar of orthogonal circle in this chart. So in this chart there is two types of curve will represent, that is constant R resistance and constant X, that is impedance. The constant R and constant X circle all passes through the point gamma R equals to 1 and gamma equals to 0. Gamma R equals to 1 and gamma I equals to gamma R equals to real part 1 and gamma I imaginary part equals to 0. The gamma gamma R equals to 1, gamma R equals to 1, this is the gamma R equals to 1, all curve passes through that point, and gamma I equals to 0. Here the gamma I actually 0 value. So all point, this point actually they wants to mention that one, that is gamma R equals to 1 and gamma I equals to 0. Okay. So they want to actually point out this point. All car passes through that point. This is an important characteristic. You can say this is an important characteristic. It passes through that one. And third, upper half of the diagram represent plus jx. Upper portion represent the plus part and the lower portion will be minus part. Plus reactance, minus reactance. Plus reactance, and this is minus reactance. Take the lower half represents the admittance, or the constant R circle become constant G circle, where the R is constant become the constant G, and the constant X circle become the constant B circle. Because when we taking R and X, then this is reactance, this is impedance circle, R and X, then impedance circle, impedance, and when we say about G and B, then it is admittance Smith chart. Okay, so the chart will be the same. If you take the value of R and X, then this is impedance chart, and if you take the value R as a G and X as a B, real part, complex part, then this is admittance curve. Next is the distance around the Smith chart, one half wavelength. Distance around the Smith chart once in the one half wavelength. You remember that is maximum to maximum is lambda by 2. So for a full complete Smith chart, the length will be lambda by 2. At point Z minimum, this will be 1 by rho, and V minimum on the line. This is a V min on the line, and the Z max rho, where V max on the line. The horizontal radius of the right to the chart center correspond to V max and V min, Z min, and the horizontal radius of the chart center represent corresponding V max, V min, and Z max and rho standing wave ratio. Okay. The horizontal radius of the left of the chart center corresponding V min, I max, Z min, and 1 by rho. So this is two important parameter, that is the horizontal radius of the right to the chart center, that means this is the chart right to the chart center. This is represent for maximum value, that is Z max minimum current, V max, Z max minimum current, and rho value. And whereas in the left side, minimum voltage, maximum current, and so on. Since the normalized admittance y reciprocal of the normalized impedance, the corresponding quantities of the admittance chart are 180 degree out of phase with the impedance chart. So in case of the impedance and admittance, there is a 180 degree out of phase, so the curve actually changed by the 180 degree out of phase. The normalized impedance or admittance repeated in every half wavelength lambda by 2. The distance the given wavelength towards the generator and towards the load. Distance are given in the given in wavelengths towards generator and towards load. Actually, the distance written in terms of wavelength. Okay. Circle represent lossless line called characteristic circle. Gamma equals to 1 represent short circuit circle or open circuit transmission line, and the center y equal to 1 plus j0 represent the matched transmission line. This is the point, not a circle, right? This point actually wants to this point. This is a matched point. When this happen, this is matched point. Matched point. This is called matched point. Okay, this is called matched point. Okay, and you can watch this actually this Smith chart here. If you wants to find out, you can see here, the in this point, that is the reactance curve, and this circle actually resistance. This resistance is 1 here, and this is 0 0.9, 0 0.8, and so on. This is 1.2, 1.4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 50, and so on. And the reactance curve here you can see that is 1, that is 0 0.9, 0 0.8, and so on. And this is 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 50, so on. Okay, and this actually written here, this is towards load and this is towards line, and you can see here at the outermost point they are actually written the distance. This outer circle, this point, that is 0.091, this actually distance, and you can see total distance written as 0.5 because the total represent by the lambda by 2. That's why in terms of lambda this is written in this lambda. That's why this is in the 0.5. Okay, and this red color represent actually the angle. This angle you can see here, total 180 degree. Okay, in these two things there is a 180 degree, and the middle one actually represent in this distance in the manner opposite manner. You can see here this distance taken as in the towards the generator, and in the middle this distance taken towards the load. This is a basic. So these two actually represent the distance in terms of lambda, and this red color value represent the angle, that is the phase angle. You remember this phase angle. So at any point, if you want to say at any intersect point like that, if you consider at that point, if you consider at that point, so you can see here the circle value is zero point 0.6, this is 0.6, and x is also 0.6. So the if you take that point, this is 0.7 and this is 0.6. So r can be written as uh, at any point. If you for as example, if you take this point, you can see here, if you take this point, this is nothing but this is r equals to, sorry, r equals to 10, it is 5, sorry, this circle, this is r equals to 0.6, so r equals to 0.6, and here this is 1.4, 1.2, this is 1.3, x equals to 1.3. So what will be this normalized z, r plus jx, so 0.6 plus j 1.3. So from this the intersect point you will be get this z, or in the reverse the z can be represented in this in the r. And you think, remember, if you take this r as g equal to 0.6, and B equals to 1.3, then you can see this is nothing but the admittance, normalized admittance G plus J B, that is 0.6 plus J 1.3. Clear? So this is the actual Smith chart. And the similar fashion, this is the same things here. This is actually represent the actual Smith chart. Here you can see uh, that is the angle, and these two are this. I think you understand my point. This is actual angle, phase angle, and these two are actual distance in terms of lambda, right? And here sorry, here you can see there is two things. Towards generator there is a value of SWR, that is here the value of SWR, that is SWR value, and the reflection coefficient value, these two actually written here. You can find out from this curve here. For example, if you take an example, if we take an example, suppose this Z equals to, just previous example, if you take 0.6 plus J 1.3, so you can plot this one, you can plot this one in this card, 0.6 and 1.3, like here. I think it's very small, some somewhere like that. And after getting this, you need to find out this center and draw this line. I think you remember this line. After getting this line, you will be get this phase angle at that ending point, and you will be get the value of L. So from this value you will be get how much thing, that is, you will be get the phase from this point, you will be get the length of that, that is the towards the generator. I think you remember this picture, the load line and so on so on. This was actual L, no, total is L, this is Z, and from that this is D, and total distance is L. So this is actually length, that is Z value, this Z, this is distance, this is impedance. Actually the phase angle you can find out, and if you want to find out the reflection coefficient magnitude and the SWR, you need to find, draw a circle. This is a radius, if you take the center and draw this circle, uh, I think you remember this curve, that is the constant gamma r value. So this constant gamma r can be calculated from this tangent. If you draw this tangent here, where the reflection coefficient is 0, the alpha is 0, then this value is the gamma. So these 2 point you will be get these two value. Clear? I think clear. If there is any doubt, you must comment in the comment box. Next, this is the all Smith chart. Next one is the how we can find out location determined of the maximum voltage and minimum from this load. So we can find out the location of the maximum voltage and the maximum minima from this load. How? Given normalized load line is like that. For example, this is an example, this is 1 1, okay, and the operating wavelength equals to lambda value is 5 centimeter. Determine first Vmax, first Vmin from this load, and VSW as shown in this figure. So this is your figure. D1 total is D2 and maximum luminance is D1. So you need to find out Vmax, Vmin from the load, and V for voltage, VSWR, rho as shown in this figure. These three parameter you need to find out. Okay. So first you need to plot ZL, that is R and that is X. So you can plot R and X. no, both are 1, r and x both are 1. So r is 1, this circle is r equals to 1 and z equals to 1. So this is x equals to 1, this circle is x equal to 1 and this circle is r equals to 1. So intersect point is this, intersect point is this. So this is 1 plus j1, right, 1 plus j1. Then you draw to this line. So this is the actual initial angle theta l. You remember this angle, you will be get this value from this data point. Okay. So first you draw this chart, read 0.162 on the distance scale by drawing a dashed line from this. So here you can find out this value. This value is like that. From the Smith chart you can find out this length value from the data point or the chart point. So this is the distance of this impedance. After that, move to distance from point this towards generator and first stop at the maximum voltage. This is the maximum voltage, this point is the maximum voltage and this is the minimum voltage, minimum, and this is maximum. Sorry. So move to this point towards the generator, first stop at the maximum voltage on the right hand real axis at 0.25 lambda. If you find here, you remember that was 0 lambda, and if you rotate, total is 0.5 lambda. So this was the 0.25 lambda. So maximum at 0.25 lambda and this distance is 0.162 lambda. So the difference or distance is nothing but the their difference, right, their difference. So this is 0.25 minus 0.162, that is 0.055 and lambda is 5 given here, lambda is 5. So if you put this value lambda, so you will get 0.44 centimeter. Similarly, move a distance of point towards the generator and first of the minimum voltage. So minimum voltage you can see here, the minimum voltage here, this is the minimum voltage, this is maximum voltage V max, and this is minimum V min. So for V min, total distance, what will be the total distance? 0.5 minus 0.162, 0.5, 0.5, what sorry, 0.5 minus 0.162. So finally you will be get this one, and putting the value of lambda you will be get 1.69 centimeter, right. So we will be get the distance for first maximum voltage and the first minimum voltage, right. Make a standing wave circle of center. Now you make a standing wave circle. So you, this is a center and this stick point and draw this curve. This is called standing wave radius circle, SW R circle, or if you take as a voltage, so VSWR circle, right. So this is VSWR circle. By plotting this VSWR circle, you will be get, by plotting this passes through the circle at point 1 plus 1j. The location intersect by the circle at the right position of the real axis indicate SWR. You remember these things in the right hand side, this property, actually this property, that is horizontal radius of the right hand side, you will be get Vmax, I mean, Zmax and rho SWR, and the left hand side you will get minimum voltage, maximum current, minimum resistance, impedance, and 1 by rho. So in the to find out the value of rho, you need to find out the value of rho. So you just take this point, okay. So this point and this row will be find out from this. Here the data is given here, given written here, row value and gamma value written here. So row value can be found out from this right hand side. I think clear about these things, okay. I think clear about the maximum minimum voltage, maximum voltage, maximum voltage distance, minimum voltage distance, and the value of rho from the Smith chart. Next one is to that is impedance determination with the short circuit minima sheet. The impedance determination with the short circuit minima sheet from the Smith chart. The location the location of a minima instead of maximum is usually specified because it can be determined more accurately. Suppose that the characteristic impedance of the line R0 R0 is 50 ohm. This is the characteristic impedance, and rho value is given to when the line is loaded. When the load is shorted, the minima shift is this towards the load. Determine the load impedance from this figure. So comes into the solution. First says when the line is shorted, the first voltage minimum occur at the place of the load. So in this figure, this. So when the line is shorted, the first voltage minimum occur at the place of the load. At the place of the load, as figure this. So at the place of the load, that is first minimum occur at the place of the load. And go to the next point. When the load line is loaded, the first voltage minimum shifted 0.15 lambda from the load. The distance between two successive minimum 1/2 wavelength. So this is the minimum, and you shift towards the load. So towards the load means you remember that point, that is towards the generator in the, this is towards generator, towards generator, and this is towards load. In the question this says towards load and this is minimum, so you move towards load by distance 0.15 distance towards load. You will be get this point, and if you draw this center to that point, you will be get, sorry, plot SWR circle for rho equals to 2. In the another side, you take this rho equals to 2, this radius is 2, this is the rho circle, center is here, and this was the radius, which is 2, this radius is 2, this 2, because in the question given this was rho circle was 2, SW rho equal to 2. Move a distance 0.5 from the minimum point along the distance scale of the load of this and stop here, which says already this move towards the load and stop here, and draw a line from the point of center of the chart. Draw a line from the center of the chart, this line, clear. Now sorry, the intersection between the line and SWR circle is here. Here you can see the this is SWR circle and this is line. This is the intersect point line, that is the impedance ZL. This can be find out. This can be find out from the Smith chart is like that. The load impedance you can see, this is because small ZL is nothing but ZL by Z0. So ZL equals to small ZL into Z0. This is given is 50, and this is was find out from this Smith chart. I think clear about this problem. How we can find out ZL from this Smith chart is very clear, because if you take this from minimum side given length, you will be reach out this point, and if you draw this row and draw this line, after getting this intersect point, you can find out the position in the lower side. That means J will be negative, that's why we got the negative J value, that is the reactance will be negative, whereas the resistance will be the 1 here. This is intersect in one circle. Okay, this is intersect in one circle, so you will get this one. I think clear about the problem, that is the use of the Smith chart. Now comes into another important use of the Smith chart, that is the impedance matching. Why we need to impedance matching? Because the to reduce, because you remember this point, this was the matching point where this loss will be the 0. So to reduce the loss, or to zero the loss, the to zero the loss, that is to reduce this loss, so you need to matching the network. Okay, so this matching transmission is special meaning, one different from that use theory indicate the impedance. So actually there is two type matching will be used, single stop and the double stop. Single stop and the double stop, there will be two useful matching actually used, double stop. Okay, so go first one, that is single stop. In this single stop, actually there is an admittance connected in the parallel connection with this load, such that for example when ZL equals to Z0, ZL equals to Z0 means, ZL equals to Z0 means this small z equals to 1, small z 1 means this is nothing but r equals to 1, j equals to sorry, x equals to 0. That is nothing but r equals to 1, z equals to 0 is that point. You remember this thing, that is this is nothing but r equals to 1, x equals to 0, and this is matched point, and we wants to reach this matching such that loss will be the minimum. So for that, we already matched, no problem. When these two are not equal, we can move to or added the step such that we can achieve this condition. So we actually wants to matching, why? Such that when the power transmitted from one end to another end of this microwave, then the loss will be the minimum, such that the loss will be the minimum. This is actually our we wants to that's why we wants to use this matching network. Okay, for example z0 is 100, zl is 50, so these two are not equal, so zl is nothing but half, so the corresponding yl admittance will be 2. So take another single stop matching in the parallel combination, you will be get this is the corresponding, this is give you 1. Okay, so you'll take such that this single stop matching, this impedance, normalized impedance such that will gives you 1, that means ZL will be the Z0, that is our target, such that the system will be matched. Okay, and stop is nothing but transmission line with short circuit or open circuit selection of the transmission line. Okay, this can be short circuit or will be open circuit with the match. So stop. So we can understand the single stop matching with an example which says a lossless line characteristic impedance given here. This is characteristic impedance matched of the load line. This is a load line by means of lossless short circuit stop. So we wants to match this one by short circuit stop. The characteristic impedance of the stops given here. ZL is given here, characteristic impedance of the stop. This is the characteristic impedance of the stop. Find the stop position. So we need to find out the formula closest to the load. So from the load we need to find out this position. Okay, so find out the step. First compute the normalized load admittance. So we take the admittance curve, no problem. For in the admittance curve you will get G and B, that's it. So for admittance 1 by ZL equals to R0 by ZL, we putting this value you will be get this expression. So this is 2 plus 3, that's it. So 2 plus you will be get 2, that is this is the value of R, right? So this is the value of R, no, this is the value of G because this is Y, and this is the value of B. So you will be get the value G and B. G is 2, so G is, sorry, G is 2, this circle, this is for this circle, G is 2, okay, and another curve, this is, oh, 3.732, like that, 3.732, this is 2 and somewhere 3, so 3.72 is like that. Actually their curve will be 3.72, curve will be like that. This is 3.732, okay, this is x equal to this one, x equal to this one, this is x equal to 3.7. So the intersect point, this is YL, the admittance of at the load, admittance at the load, clear. Draw the SW circle of the point YL so that the circle intersect entry at YD. So if you draw the circle, if you take this radius and draw this circle, if you complete like that, so the unit circle will be first intersect at that point, because we moves towards generator, towards generator, towards generator, towards generator, you will be get this point first, YD. So you will be get YD point first, and this is nothing but 1 plus 1 minus J26. This value can be find out from Smith chart, from Smith chart, Smith chart. So from Smith chart we will be get this YD value, okay. Sometimes this not be actually intersect because of the there is large number, so we need to allow this stuff as closely as possible, right. And next point, since the characteristic impedance stuff is different from the line, the condition impedance matching, for the matching these two will be equal to this 1 1, for the matching 1 to 1. This is the susceptance of the staff, y as a susceptance, it is clear. So by calculating this, ys can be susceptant value will be getting this, putting this value will be get this one, j 0.52, j 0.52, j equals to 0.52, like that. And there is r equals to 0 means that point, j 0.52, j 0.52 is like here, and r equals to 0 is 0. And the distance of the load line and the stop position can be calculated. The load line and the stop position, you can see here, this is the load line and this is the stop position. This distance can be find out, because in this Smith chart this distance is can be plotted from this line and from this line. So if you got these two distance, you can easily find out the distance between the load line and the stop position. Another point, that is the susceptance 0 enter, and the chart determine this cell, show the transfer chart the generator until this point. So this the for matching, actually this is the first distance, so you get this distance value, and you need to find out this moving, you need to find out this length. Actually we need to find out this length. This length can be find out, you can see here, this length can be find out, this this is 0.13. So to move towards the generator, you will be get this value towards the generator from actually this total is 0.5. So to reach that point from the generator, actually from this generator, this is the starting point, from this generator, this circle, from this generator you need to find get to that one. So get such that you get the value of L, and this is the value of D. So for L value can be find out, so total is 0.5 lambda, total is 0.5 lambda, and if you minus this one, that is the 0.013, this will be value from here, this value. So if you minus 0.031 lambda, you will be get the actual length. So this length can be find out into that one. And the this was in the impedance. In the inductive stuff, this will be the in the another possibility. This is inductive stuff, this is the reverse of this one. So that's corresponding j equal to minus, and if you get this minus value, sorry, this minus j means that point. So if you wants to go towards generator about this length, you can see here you will be get the L prime will be L. So this minus of that minus that because there will be the change this point also, this is the point. So you get this one, sorry, 0.1253 minus 0.215 minus 198, 0.215 198, actually this 198 198, and this is 0.15, this is the difference. So you need to minus out that one from the zero point 0.5, you will be get this length in case of the inductive case. Okay. Sorry. Now moved into the next point, that is the double stub matching. Sometime it is complicated that to using a single stub matching, sometimes it is complicated to match this transmitter line circuit using this single stub matching. Then we use to double stub matching, such that we can find out there is just two stub matching, we can match this circuit. Match means ZL must be equal to Z0. Okay, here you can see the terminating impedance ZL is like that, ZL equals to this, and characteristic impedance Z0 will be 50. Characteristic impedance Z0 will be first stop is 0.40 away from the load. So first step is from the load 0.40 lambda away, and the spacing between these two stub is 3 lambda by 8. Determine the length of short circuit stub when this match at it. So you need to find out these two length, lambda 1, Ln1 and L2. What termination are forbidden for matching the line by the double stub device? This is another part. We'll go to the later. First, from ZL, ZL by Z0, right? Z small ZL equals to ZL by Z0. This is ZL and this is Z0, so this is 2 plus this. From here you can find out YL, that is admittance, equals to 1 by Z0, like that. Okay, or you can get from row circle, because after getting this 2 plus 2 like that, and you will draw this, and if you 180-degree phase angle, you will be, this is ZL, small ZL, and this is YL. By this method you can find out all, or mathematically you can also find out this one, YL. Draw the spacing curve 3 by 8L, 3 by 8L by rotating the constant. Actually this is 3 by 8L, this is 3 lambda by 8, right? Spacing 3 lambda by 8, or unit circle g equals to 1 in the admittance curve. If you take this as the admittance, then this is that one. Through the phase angle 2 beta d, remember this one. So this is 3 pi by 2 towards the load. Okay, so draw this curve. First put this value to 2 plus 2 2 2 2, there is 2, there is another 2, so you will be get, I think 1, no, this is 1, this is 2, 2, and this is 2, this is ZL. Actually they write down, this is ZL, we got this is ZL, 2 and 2, this is 2, sorry, this is 2, and this curve also 2, not drawn here. This is ZL, and from the opposite side, this by this row circle, in the opposite side you will be get YL, you will be get the YL, and moving to 3 pi by 2, the load, towards the load. So moving from this 3 pi by 2 towards the load. Okay, so from here, here you can see you need to move towards the angle 3 pi by 2. That's why this is dashed line, this circle. And after that, move YL from a distance 0.4d from that to that along the SW curve towards the generator. 0.04 lambda, here you can see 0.04 lambda. From here you go to this towards the generator. YD1 you will be get this YD1. Okay, 0.04 lambda. Actually this is YL, and from here we move 0.4 lambda, you will be get this one. Okay, after getting draw this line, you will be get this distance point, and the YD1 also find out from this relation because of the row circle, and will be get this line, you will be get this YD1, and the Y11 is find out along the constant conductance G equal to this circle inserted spacing circle of 2 point y1 and y11. If you draw this one 3 pi by 2 angle changes, this is y11, y111, and this is y11 prime in the two different line. Clear? So these two are find out from the Smith chart at the junction 1 to 1, that is y11, you will be get yd1 and ys1. If you added these two, from this ys1 will be find out, similarly ys prime will be found out, and the length can be calculated for the staff 1. Since the length will be calculated in the similar fashion, that is the 0.25 plus 1.13, the distance 1.13, actually this was the distance 1.13. You need to just draw the curve. Here the 0.25, because total was 0.45 lambda, and for two step this become 0.25 lambda, right? So after getting this and taking this minus, we will get this one, and yd2 and yd2 prime will be and similar fashion these will be cancel out, and finally we get the length of the staff 2 in the similar things. Okay, just do this calculation for just like a single staff, with the help of the Smith chart will be get this, because this 0.25 is due to that, for this is for single and this is for double. Okay, they are also just you would remember this plus minus relation, you will get this equation. And there is a forbidden relation, the area of G equals to 2 circle, G equals to 2 circle actually forbidden region, because within this region there will be no solution. That's why I call this is a forbidden region. Okay, for any query you must comment in the comment box. That's it for today. We will be cover up the others portion in the next lecture. Okay, so that's it. This is all about me. This is my contact details and this is my YouTube channel details. Okay, you will be get this channel, you will get this others video like that. Subscribe this channel if you new in this channel. Those already subscribed, thanks for subscription. Press the bell icon to get the notifications of upcoming video. Take care. We'll meet in the next video as soon as possible. Thank you.